Hello, and it's day 3 of the 6 years ago, the history, the life of turning from being employed, to self-employed. So today I thought I would share one of the very first memories that I had. So given that I've worked in training management, in financial services for very many years, I actually worked a lot very closely with sales teams and sales and marketing teams. And myself, prior to all of that, had quite a good track record in sales myself. You know, I'd worked and done a lot of sales within Thomas Cook's. I had become one of their first £1 million sellers. And I remember with kind of like a bit of a smile now, but I remember when I looked at getting some of my very first contracts as a self-employed person and thinking, you know what, it's fine, I can sell, it's all great. So the only thing that I had to do, I knew that I was offering some training services and consultancy services. I knew how much I was offering it for. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. And the only thing that I had to do was to let the person know how much it was. So I jokingly recall this story and say that I often thought that the words just calmly came out of my mouth. But here's the thing. When I went to sell my products and services myself for the very first time, having done it like thousands of times before, you know, hit targets for companies, as I say, like Thomas Cook's, like the Abbey National, as it was when I worked for them, I suddenly just came to this standstill. So what I wanted to share in this video is that sometimes when something becomes really, really important to us, and it's kind of like a lesson, a hardcore lesson in sales, if you like, but when something becomes really, really important to us, it's sometimes we place a certain value on it, which in turn can actually make it more difficult for us just to get it out there and just to sell it and just to talk about it. So it came to the point where I had this potential of a contract. I needed to offer it. I needed to let the person know how much it was. I'd written everything down, got the contract ready, and I went to let them know how much it was, and the words just didn't come out of my mouth. They were literally like stuck in my throat. So if I could share a lesson from this particular time, what I would want to share is that sometimes, just sometimes, if we know our value, know our worth, but don't place like massive importance on the thing that we're trying to sell, the person we're selling it to, or any of those other criteria or factor, it's actually just easier to offer our services as they are, as we want them to be offered. Because I remember I eventually got the price out of my mouth. It felt really awkward. And I like to think that the people that I was dealing with at the time didn't detect that. I guess they didn't, because they ended up buying the services from me. But I just never ever forget how difficult that was. And the whole reason that I'm doing this series is because I want to talk about the great stuff. I want to talk about the stuff that's not so great and the ugly stuff. And nothing was as big a surprise to me as that time of having to be able to articulate my value, my worth, and a price, a physical price. I'm not saying that this is a difficult thing to do, but for me, it represented the transition from selling other people's things, the value which I placed on their products and services that I loved and always had no problem selling, to actually just selling my own products, my own services, my own price, and being happy, able, and willing to be able just to talk about how much that was. So if this is you, if you're thinking about starting a business, if you already have a business, maybe you're looking at putting your prices up, looking at a different market, a new audience, and people often say, you know, have a business where you have a passion and it's close to your heart. Just remember that it's okay to have the business and passion that's close to your heart, but be able to offer it and invite people to take your products and services without being so attached that it cripples you and doesn't come out of your mouth. Hope that makes sense. Thank you so much. This has been day 3, and I'll see you on day 4's video. Bye for now.